So here we have reached our hotel in Istanbul. The name of this hotel is Best Point, so let me show you around. This is one of the bedrooms. Here's the toilet, and this is the master bedroom. There is a restaurant on the top of the hotel. And here we are to have our breakfast. The breakfast here is so good. So right after our breakfast, we headed here to this beautiful blue mosque, which was very close to our hotel. The Blue Mosque is one of the 5 mosques in Turkey that has 6 minarets. The Blue Mosque of Istanbul was designed by Sultan Ahmed I. Its construction involved an unprecedented cost as it has so many tiles colored blue inside. You'll also find a lot of stained glass windows, which was made in Venice, inlaid with precious stones, which lend light and clarity. Outside, we came across small stalls. So if you're planning a visit here, do try some Turkish bread and roasted chestnut. It was time for lunch, so here's what I had. This long queue that you see here is for the Basilica Cistern Museum. It's the largest of several hundred ancient cisterns that lie beneath the city of Istanbul. It was designed to service the Great Palace and surrounding buildings, but was closed when the Byzantine emperors relocated from the Great Palace. The cistern was cleaned and renovated in 1985 by the Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality and opened to the public in 1987. As you move towards the bottom of the cistern, you will see that large stones were placed under the 2 very short columns for support. Medusa's face was engraved on these stones. And then we pay a visit to the Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque. Hagia Sophia is an important Byzantine structure in Istanbul and one of the world's great monuments. It was built as a Christian church in the 6th century. In subsequent centuries, it became a mosque, then a museum, and a mosque again. The building is almost square, but when you look at it from within, it appears to be rectangular. The base of the dome are pierced by windows, and it gives the impression that the canopy floats on air. There are 3 aisles separated by columns with galleries above, and great marble piers rising up at either end to support the dome. The columns are of finest marble, selected for their color and variety, while the lower parts of the walls are covered with marble slabs. So the next day, we went to explore one of the famous palaces and museums, the Topkapi Palace. Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror built the first stage of the palace shortly after the conquest of Constantinople and lived here until his death. The palace is well-preserved and managed museum. The place is rich with history. The segments are well-defined and full of historic artifacts depicting the golden age of the Ottoman Empire and Muslim history. The palace served as the administrative center of the Ottoman Empire and was the main residence of its sultans. Topkapi Palace and Harem are likely to have more colorful stories than most of the world's museums put together. Libidinous sultans, ambitious courtiers, beautiful concubines, and scheming eunuchs lived and worked here between the 15th and 19th centuries, when it was the court of the Ottoman Empire. A visit to the palace's opulent pavilions, jewel-filled treasury, and sprawling harem gives a fascinating glimpse into their lives. It has many exhibition halls, treasury section, and harem.
Кардиган. Да. Видишь, это 1200. Сар,
In this section, you'll come across various Islamic calligraphies. Ottoman calligraphers had a style of calligraphy that elevated them to new peaks of beauty and elegance. This would give rise to the saying that the Quran was revealed in Mecca, recited in Egypt, and written in Istanbul. You can also enjoy the splendid Bosphorus view from here. We also came across one of the mansions inside one of the courtyards. Check out this beautiful interior.
Devant cette photo d'antan, il n'est pas fou, il y croit c'est tout, il la voit partout, il attend debout, une rose à la main, à part elle il n'attend rien, rien autour, la décence et l'air est doux, le regard absent, il est seul et lui parle, souvent il n'est pas fou, il lève ses tours, il la voit partout, il attend debout, debout, une rose à la main, non, non plus rien ne le retient. Dans sa love story, dans sa love story, dans sa love story, il attend devant cette photo d'antan,
This is one of the Queen's thrones.
Il la voit partout, il attend debout, une rose à la main, à part elle il n'attend rien.
Here are some of the valuable possessions that they own. Topkapi's treasury features an incredible collection of objects. Made from or decorated with gold, silver, rubies, emeralds, jade, pearls, and diamonds.
Ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Kahroldum ah, ateşe düştüm bak, evlerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Mahvoldum ah, ateşe düştüm bak, evlerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak.
This clock caught my eye. It has miniatures of people dancing together, which kind of depicts the people of that period. The main entrance separates the harem in which the family and the concubines of the Sultan resided from the courtyard.
A few concubines who officially married an emperor. Place where hundreds of eunuchs, headed by
In the harem, the girls were schooled in and converted to Islam and received proper palace training. They were taught how to write, read, play the instrument, sing, and dance.
Ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Kahroldum ateşe düştüm bak.
The apartments of the Queen Mother and the Sultan form the largest and the most important section of the entire harem. Also constructed in the late 16th century, the lower story was occupied by the concubines, and the upper story was occupied by the Queen Mother along with her ladies-in-waiting. This imperial hall functioned as the Sultan's official reception hall and also entertainment for the harem. The Sultan's throne sits in this room. The galleries would be occupied by Sultan's consorts, who were headed by the Queen Mother. After all that exploring, we were tired and hungry, so here's what I had to satisfy my hunger.
Why does it slowly start falling?
The next morning, we decided to visit the spice market, from there to Bosphorus Cruise, and then the Galata Tower.
Ellerden uzak, aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Mahvoldum, ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil.
So here, we are in the Bosphorus Cruise. The view of this river is so soothing and beautiful. The Bosphorus Cruise is a popular activity in Istanbul, where you can sail along the Bosphorus Strait, which separates the European and Asian sides of the city. The cruise takes you on a trail with views of Istanbul landmarks. Here, you might also get a chance to click a picture with a feather buddy. I also got a chance to hold him and get a picture with him. He was quite friendly.
Seni seviyorum bunu tüm dünya alem duysun. Dilerim Allah'tan ömrüm kollarımda son bulsun.
Özmedim başım, ağrısı yadımdadır yarim canım. Gayrısı yadımdadır, onda gördüm seni. Mükemmel rahat ettim, gizlice ayrılmadım. Anlısı yadımdadır.
Ay balam gül balam gecelerim keder ay.
After a long wait in the queue, we finally enter the Galata Tower. The Galata Tower was built as a watchtower at the highest point of the walls of Galata. The tower is now an exhibition space and museum and a symbol of Istanbul.
Il attend devant cette photo d'antan. Il n'est pas fou, il y croit c'est tout. Il la voit partout, il attend debout. Une rose à la main, à part elle il n'attend rien. Rien autour, l'indécence et l'air est doux. Le regard absent, il est seul et lui parle. Souvent il n'est pas fou, il lève ses tout. Il la voit partout, il attend debout, debout, une rose à la main. Non, non plus rien ne le retient. Dans sa love story, dans sa love story.
Hazarfen Ahmed Çelebi is one of the first people in the world who managed to fly with human-made wings. Besides, he is a Turkish scholar who managed to fly for the first time. Today, we'll be going to one of the most beautiful palaces I've ever seen. But before that, let me take you to one of the famous streets in Istanbul. Here we are in Istiklal Street. This street attracts both locals and tourists who walk its length to enjoy many restaurants, cafes, and shops. If you come here, do visit Hafiz Mustafa. It's known for its most famous Turkish delight and baklava. You can also try some of their sweets here. Now we're heading towards the palace, which I'd mentioned to you earlier. It's the Dolmabahce Palace. It is Istanbul's first European-style palace, built between 1843 and 1856 by one of the sultans in an attempt to modernize Istanbul. We also came across one of the royal couple enjoying some quality time with each other in this beautiful palace garden. We were not allowed to record or take pictures inside the palace, but I can assure you that the interiors were spectacular and mind-blowing. I fell in love with not just its interiors, but its exterior as well. Look how gorgeous it is.
Ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Kahroldum ah, ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak. Mahvoldum ah, ateşe düştüm bak, ellerden uzak. Aşk değil bu bana tuzak.
Next, we're heading towards the Grand Bazaar. We wanted to try Salt Bay's restaurant there. So here's the restaurant. The ambience was good, and the food was okay, not worth the hype. On the last day of our trip, we took a ferry to one of the Princess Islands. It is said that there used to be horse carts here before COVID hit, but now they have replaced them with these electronic vans. You can explore the island with these vans, and if you plan on getting down on any of the stops, make sure you have enough credit in your transportation card or you'll end up walking all the way back to where you started. Sharing this from our experience.
Seni seviyorum bunu tüm dünya alem duysun. Dilerim Allah'tan ömrüm kollarımda son bulsun.